Home ain't ever what you wanted it to be. So you packed your things and you left. Took a train, left somewhere out west, and you found what looks like hope. You take that little bit of change you got in your pocket and you build a ranch, maybe a nice little family. But unfortunately, there's never hope. Welcome to Crystal Grit. Mind your pistols now. There we go.
Now howdy. Hello.
Yeah.
Oh.
There we go.
Hi, everybody. One last little, you know what I'm saying? Welcome tonight to this here last session, the epilogue of our Whispers in the Dust campaign here on Hard Knock Dice. I, for the last time, am Ian, your dungeon master, or cowboy god, or Yahweh. I say the last for this campaign, not ever. I mean,
Just the way I am for the last time, Ian.
I'm for the last time, like in this particular iteration. I have sent in a legal name change. I will no longer be Ian. I will do this for every campaign. I will change every game I DM. I will be legally changing my name. Very exciting.
That sounds expensive.
Very expensive.
And it takes a lot of time. Like,
no, really?
Take it from someone who has changed their name.
Oh, that's annoying. But anyway.
Yep.
Sorry. If you got something to say. If you got something to say, say it. This is the time.
No, I was just going to ask her, what was your real name before?
Dox yourself.
While
you're at it, what's your street address and social security number? I just out of curiosity. Anyway, and of course these folks off to hopefully I am right for this very last off to my left here are your players, your cowpokes. Though
yeah, right.
We said they were poking no cows.
I ain't poked a damn cow in my life.
Never? You've never poked a cow?
No.
Liar. I don't believe you.
I don't think Ian knows what that means.
How many cows have you poked, Ian?
Not with your finger.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Hey man, you can't double cow.
Fuck you.
Anyway, cow pokes or not, these are the other people here within this champagne. Are my affectionately referred my gunslingers, and we're gonna round off this story with if y'all choose to roll dice, I suppose you can. I'll roll one right now. Boom.
11.
9. Accurate.
Never forget.
Never forget. Fuck's sake. Anyway, we're gonna wrap up our story here with. Oh goodness, I was just about to just immediately jump into it. Before I do that, there should be a little link popping up over here in the chat, because as always, raise money with Extra Life, specifically for Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. Click on that link if you are feeling oh so charitable, and open your heart wallets and donate what you can, because that is the lawful, kind thing to do. So I encourage you to do that. And yeah, I've already said that this is our last session of this here champagne. We'll be taking some amount of time off. I am sure between whatever is after this, watch our Twitter. I'm sure we'll let you know. Or we won't. Maybe it'll just be a surprise. You'll just have to watch with bated breath for our channel to go live again.
Tune in every Wednesday, whether or not we have content for you or not.
Well, leave our Twitch channel open all hours of the day until something new appears besides Across Eberron. Great success.
I'll just stream. I'll just stare at the camera for 4 hours and then
exhausting. But last week on our not last session, our party had I mean, quite frankly, it was kind of a fucking boot party considering the risks involved. Like, they had a bit of a confrontation with the beast, the creature that had been seeking this gemstone that they had retrieved on the behalf of Desmond Sinclair. They took the time. They did a bit of a plan with some arcane gate shenanigans. They got it to jump some of their party and then fucked it up really bad. Got the spike driven into its chest that would overload the massive gemstones that were its core, and that magically had sustained it for such a long time, and then used the arcane gate to run away and closed it so that there was no way it was going to get anywhere near them when it exploded, which it did in a wondrous fashion, causing a bit of a light show that they viewed from atop the ancient fortress here within Eucryptidal. So, having succeeded, eventually they had to do a little searching around, but they retrieved the little parachute that they had attached the original gemstone that they had used as bait to, and we're gonna do kind of a bit of some RP as you guys want to do kind of your last actions here within Crystal Gray. You guys will come back into town, arrive. I figure either return tonight or rest until morning. Either way, the scene that awaits you is much the same of the town, and unexpectedly in a bit of ruin. After it would not take much, there's some buildings that are some slightly destroyed buildings, a little bit of fire, and the corpses, air quotes, of quite a few earth elementals scattered around the perimeters and a little bit into the town. There were some casualties that are still being collected by the time you guys arrived, and it would not take much asking around to, or just being told at the sunrise, which thankfully was not on the side that the earth elementals had appeared, that evidently prior to its trip over to where you all waited at the fortress, the creature had baited a bunch of earth elementals into attacking Crystal Grit proper, seemingly for no reason, but probably to prevent you guys from getting assistance if you guys called for it. Quite distracting. A bunch of a functional stampede of earth elementals would be. But you guys come in. I assume y'all intend to return the gem. Now would be a good time to say if you're not, because that makes things very different, I suppose.
Yeah. We were we gonna check to see if there was any leftover gems from where it exploded? Because that was one of the.
That'd be easy enough to do on y'all's way out. And I mean, there is gem left. None of the enchantment is gone. The magical bonds and ties that it created have effectively sundered.
Okay. Yeah.
Of course, Sinclair in his office as usual. Disheveled may be a strong word for it, but it is the most disheveled you all have ever seen him. Like some of his hair that's normally slicked back, there's a couple strands that have freed themselves from the gel. It looks like one of the cuffs of his shirt are a little undone or a little frayed. I assume by your return and still in possession of the gem that you have succeeded. Or I certainly hope you have not fled back.
No, sir. We did indeed destroy that creature, and I'll place the gem on his desk and look to everybody and go, it's well and good gone.
As long as it can't grow itself back up from bits that are about like this big.
We determined the magical nature that had kept it sustained. It's operated. So, risk of that.
From what Mr. Buchanan told to me of the spike he created for all of you, I find it's, if you succeeded in its implementation, then I find it unlikely. If it can come back from even that, then, well, we have much worse problems.
Yeah, you should definitely give it the gem if it comes back from that.
Perhaps so. But in the meantime, hold out one hand.
I give him the gem.
Thank you. Just sets it in the center of his desk in front of him.
Into his chest. He was one of them the whole time.
And he kills all of you. The end.
No!
Done a great service. Not forget that. You must be compensated for your conflict, short as it might have been with this beast.
I did not hear anything you just said,
I
Ian.
think
What?
you got very quiet all of a sudden
Ah!
for some reason.
I said.
That Sinclair just goes, ah!
Well, now I'm concerned. It occurs to me that maybe I might be. Well, fuck it. Okay, no, I am on the right microphone. We're good.
I can hear you just fine. I don't know why it got really quiet all of
Okay.
a sudden.
I'm just gonna yell.
Okay.
The entire rest of the session. But now, anyways, that you all, you have all provided, a great service. You'll of course be compensated, despite being a shorter job than the one you'd previously done. Danger of it was higher. As before, I believe the checks will be provided for 2,000 gold pieces apiece. And for those who wish to continue, what's the word I'm looking for? Who wish to have their services retained, a stipend will be agreed upon.
As much fun as I've had, I will not be sticking around Crystal Grid much longer.
Mhm.
I suppose the next couple of weeks will be my last here.
It's kind of pans out. Well, all
Mr.
good things
Sinclair,
must come to an end.
I'm sorry. Sir.
Yes, Miss Bell.
I apologize. If it is okay with you, I believe I would like to return to our previous arrangement where my services are provided on an as-needed basis, allowing me to devote most of my time to running the Sunrise and providing the services that I do regularly through there.
Very well.
Of course, I am always available should you need me.
Of course.
Sarabelle will unsling her shotgun and pop open the breech and take two shells out of the barrels and hand them to Mr. Sinclair. While I would like to remain in the town, I'm afraid that my prior compatriots may come looking for me, and it would only bring harm upon those that I care about. If any individual bearing the symbol that I showed you appears in this town, use these and send a clear message to that cult. They are not welcome in Crystal Grit, and that someone is coming to hunt them down.
What lady?
Well,
Well, half y'all leaving.
Only so much story in one place there, Mr. King.
Sooner or later, you gotta start making your own stories, son.
Someone's got to tell the world story.
Hey, you can mail books just as easy as you can write them.
And indeed, I am.
All right.
There's a whole big world out there, Mr. King. I don't have to tell you that, though.
Mm-hmm. Same murder in here as there are across the pond.
He'll just smile at that.
Well, what about you, lovebirds? You know, hanging out here?
Callie will.
Yeah,
Oh, go
both
ahead.
y'all.
No.
I would say, Geist is probably like zoned out, like thinking about something, and the implication in his direction would just.
Callie will look at Mrs. Sinclair and go, Mrs. Sinclair, I am here.
Slight eyebrow raise at the mention of lovebirds when looking at Callie and Geist. But other than that, no reaction.
I am here. I might be going on some adventures, but if Miss Bell will keep me, I'll be here. And she'll look at. She doesn't think that he's told anybody else his name, so she's gonna go with the professor here. I don't know what he's doing, but
It's about me.
I say he continues to be fucking oblivious.
Cerebell's gonna stomp on your foot.
Crunch.
Aren't you wearing
My
wedding
foot?
rings? I assume
Yeah, but
dirty.
they were part of the. Were they part of anything? I forget.
I mean, so the warding
ceremony spell?
bond. Well, so it wasn't technically a part of the ceremony spell, but Callie is wearing a ring, and so unless you took yours off after the battle, so then I was going to cast warding bond at one point, so I told you to keep them on.
That's right. Yeah, he does not even remember it's there. He's like da 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 da. Yes. What's about me? Looks down, I guess, because you're shorter.
Where are you going? What are you doing? Are you staying here? Or?
I believe I have an arrangement with Mr. Sinclair here, although the specific details will sure we'll have no problem in rounding out. Just give a confident and determined eye contact at Sinclair, not like intimidating at him, but like a but rock some shit kind of thing.
Light head incline.
Abiding by our agreements, then seems I'll be local for a little bit longer at least. Maybe in and out of town, but home base and all that.
Well, Mr. King.
Muted, I think.
You're
Muted.
You're muted,
Shit.
Mr. King.
Oh, yeah. Well, I figured I'd stick around. I think maybe I might. I cleared up a little bit of a bounty on my head, but maybe be a little bit easier if I had someone watching my back and had some steady work, idle hands and all that.
Crystal Grid protects its own.
Yeah, and I could protect Crystal Grit, so there you go.
I believe we would be able to come to an amiable arrangement. Well, of course, I will force none of you to stay. Though if you tend to depart, I believe it goes without saying. Our secrets stay secrets. And if they do not, well, business must maintain a certain understanding within your cryptid doll. Just like makes eye contact with each of you in turn, even the ones that have said that they intend to stay.
I don't know what secrets we're talking about. Nothing's happened. I had a great time in Crystal Grit.
Mm.
Similar to a conversation we had amongst ourselves. Yeah, secrets are best kept when people are stabbing each other in the back. The arrangement working both ways is beneficial to all.
Things that would bring the consortium down upon this town.
Mr. Sinclair, you can guarantee that I will do everything to prevent the consortium from putting their noses where they don't belong.
Glad to hear.
Only thing that would ever bring our relationship to an end would be as if you house those individuals I warned you about. But I don't believe you ever would.
My
House them.
understanding is they would not make themselves welcome. If what you say is true.
They would absolutely not.
I think we have no quarrel.
You should stay. If any of those fuckers come snooping around, we can just fill them full of bullets and bury them out in the desert.
Seems to be a pretty direct approach, eh?
Yeah.
I would love to. And Miss Bell, wow. I did say that I was in your employ. Unfortunately, another employer has asked that I continue spitting in the face of those who led me astray earlier.
My dear, I certainly understand if you feel cold. I do hope you remember everyone needs a home base, and I hope you will consider the sunrise yours, and that you will come back periodically to refresh and be embraced by us.
I could never be far from Crystal Grit's hospitality.
Perhaps, who knows? Dear Pax still may have something to convince you to change your mind. He is always experimenting with those cinnamon rolls.
Realizing that we are standing in Sinclair's office having sort of sentimental conversations, I am going to look at Sinclair and go, Mrs. Sinclair, unless you need us, we can take the rest of these pleasantries outside so we don't take up any more of your time.
You are most generous, Miss Callie. Go, be about your business. I have much to do.
John will walk up to Mr. Sinclair. This is the guy you've been working for. I like this guy. He seems like he knows what he's about. He's still smoking the cigar. How have y'all all gotten yourselves in these messes when you're working for this guy?
Sinclair's like, he has not turned his face, but he's kind of looking down at John like, this creature belongs to one of you.
Yeah, that's the guy who used to be the amalgamation of arms and leathers that we rode around in.
You have a problem with it? Just like hand in his jacket, I guess.
He's an asshole. He's much better as a monstrosity.
I dislike you a little bit more now, since you said that I'm owned by somebody. But
He just kind of looks. You are no creature natural made. Of that I'm certain. Go. He just kind of like does like a brush away gesture.
all right, fuck you too. Walks out.
I assume. Unless anybody else has questions or commentary they would like to make to Sinclair.
Yes, but it was going to be as everyone else was shuffling out. Guys, so just kind of I'll do as how I have a couple of last private words to share with our benefactor.
Yes.
Oh, that'd be after everyone else.
I've assumed that everybody, since nobody was objecting, that everybody was complying.
I'll just double check.
Self
Door
check real
shuts and
quick.
Just kind of turns around, take that 2,000 gold, split it in half, slide half back across.
You rip a check in half and put half of it on his desk.
What was it? It was a check?
Yeah. There's a
Oh,
bank here.
That case. Kind of day.
Yes.
Take the check, kind of place it down, and stands if its next request could be beyond just the favor that we have already discussed, and if it requires financial compensation, I am more than willing. Additional favors on your behalf.
Within
I
reason.
would like to have what could be a enthusiastic conversation with someone in your employ.
Just raises his eyebrows.
Regarding our conversation, your assistance in pursuing Slater,
Yes.
I believe that Caldwell is likely his informant.
True.
It would be remiss of me to, quite frankly, to poach someone in your circle. If I'm going to be working for you, I'm going to try and be above board with my activities.
Looks thoughtful for a moment.
He'll give his reasons. I know that his informant is a man named, scrolls down in his notes.
Slug.
Oh, I know, I was just getting over, so. A man goes by the moniker of Slug. And he has shown so far several of the signs. He is in this town, attracting, that's what brought me here in the first place. Allergic to cats, obsession with stopwatches. And it turns out not to be him, won't harm a hair on his head, but again, above board, with permission, won't make a move without your say so.
Generous offer.
It's not generous, it's good business.
As he looks at his notes. Is there no reason not to honor this request? I will, however, require the presence of Miss Thornton and Mr. Buchanan during your questioning to verify things.
Of course,
And to
could
serve as
perhaps,
my own witness.
for at least the opening salvo, the exchange.
Oh, they will be present for the entire duration, and that is not negotiable.
The reasoning is, I don't believe he would reveal himself if he was not brought about to it. I have a way with words. Once I do get the admission, by all means.
I believe you will find that Mr. Buchanan would be most helpful in this regard.
Oh, changes everything. Of course. I have no issues. All I need is his information.
Good.
Very well, so thank you very much.
Well, I'll speak to Miss Thornton and then at your, what's the word I'm looking for? At your convenience.
Take a couple of days to recover from our latest tasks, and get back to work.
Seek her out when you're ready.
Of course, sir. Just kind of nods and have your leave. Steps up, shuts the door behind him.
So, I said the floor is yours. You guys have y'all have kind of laid out what y'all's plans are to planning to go, for remaining to stay for the most part, maybe doing some side things, but planning to remain mostly within Crystal Grit. So interactions and things you guys want to have, but we'll I guess the timeline we'll be working in will be, I think the latest departure will probably be, Alistair, you said you're only planning to stay for another couple weeks.
Yep, a couple of weeks
Nothing in that
to
cup.
a few months at most.
Yeah. So, what about Sarah Bell?
Sarah will be around that timeline. She to have a conversation with John pretty quickly after leaving, and they would come to a kind of agreement of like, while Cerebral is hesitant to get other people hurt, this was also the last place that the cult was aware of Cerebral heading. So they would stick around for a little bit and try to set a trap.
Or
Any cult operatives that would
any
show
cult
up.
operatives in the next couple months? Does Sarah Bell want them to show up while she's still here?
Not really.
Not really. Okay, high low then.
Hi.
I love rolling dice. Okay. Undisturbed on an 86 for at least until you've departed. They have not. It would appear that they have either not been able to track you down precisely, or maybe haven't even yet made their way across the pond, as it were. Not everybody got access to teleport. It's a hard knock life if you're not a full caster. So, well, I'll say I will say over the next handful of weeks or whatever, until those that are departing are departing. I feel if y'all want to waffle about, or if any interactions you think you guys would like to have before some of you leave, or that you're wanting to have in the meantime, go nuts.
When they first got back, sorry,
Mr. Wood.
So when they first got back to the Sunrise, Belle would have checked on everybody, checked in to make sure everybody was doing okay, to see if we were all needed to help clean up in the town. And then she would have done something she's never done before. She would have closed the Sunrise for 2 to 3 days, to allow everybody to have time off at the same time, and to plan a celebration for our crew coming back. And so everybody's, she's got the doves, and the employees are cleaning everything, almost like spring cleaning, decorating, Pax is in the kitchen, cooking up, things, and just really kind of setting up to have a celebration, because she wants to do something really fun and nice before, if Sarah Bell and Alistair are not going to be dissuaded, then she wants to do this together before they go.
Absolutely. But so many cinnamon rolls, cinnamon buns, cinnamon buns,
Some of them have something
cinnamon
that
bites.
looks like sprinkled sugar that might give you a little extra pep in your step.
Oh shit! There's drugged fucking
Breakfast special.
LS donuts. However that works.
That sounds awful. Easily enough done. A rousing celebration. Y'all are, for the moment, y'all don't have anything in front of you. There's no there's no, as far as you know, the consortium isn't coming yet. There's no
Why you gotta
beast
say it like
lurking,
that?
bestowing nightmares upon the town. Probably some of the like easiest on the mind evenings any of you have had for a while.
Actually, could the party be planned for like a day or two before Sarabelle and
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Alistair and Agatha are set to go? So then it's a bit of a celebration and it's also a bit of a goodbye.
Goodbye. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I think a couple days after the big fight, Callie would have gone to Miss Bell's office to just do like the normal check-in rounds and things, but then also do a thing that's typically out of character for Callie and give Miss Bell like a big hug. And
Belle would just hug her so tightly and say, "My dear, how are you? Now that we're back and settled."
I'm settled, Miss Bell. I can't say how much I appreciate this time I've had with you.
So glad. The feeling is quite mutual, my dear. And I'm so pleased that you've decided to stay. Bristlegrit would not be the same without you.
It's been more of a home than I've had in a long, long while. And you're part of that, so I thank that.
Well, that warms my heart, my dear. And what about your young man?
I don't know. He was supposed to be cooking me dinner, and he hasn't done that and hasn't said anything. So I'm just going to let him be. He has much on his mind.
Well, in fairness,
Wow,
my dear, might I remind you, since we decided to plan this party, Pax has hardly allowed me into his kitchen, let alone anyone else. So that might be something that is for maybe a tidbit in the future. I will give him a little bit of grace myself.
All right, Miss Bell. You probably know better than I do.
Not always, but I think in this aspect, maybe giving him a little bit of a little space might be a good idea. You know how Pax is.
I do, and I like throw my hands up and go, I have barely looked at the man. Let's be real here. He's been a little pokey.
A little bit. He, as much as he enjoys it, he does feel the pressure to perform. Why he's no longer a dove.
Right, Miss Bell. Well, you let me know what else I can do. In the next couple of days, I'm going to go check in with Mrs. Sinclair about some stuff. But I still work for you, so.
My dear, take your time. I believe right now it seems like the town is cleaning up, and with us taking advantage of this kind of slow time, please do. I mean, go as you please, my dear. I'll let you know if I need anything.
Thank you, Miss Bell. And just like gently close the door behind me. So I go about my business.
Okay. And other conversations folks want to have, or are we about to be scared? Basically, y'all have the floor. Once y'all are done, is narration time.
I have two conversations. One is technically with myself. It's me and John.
Chit chat with John, sure. Let's see.
Sarabelle will.
Everyone look at.
Whoa.
Better look at Chris's camera.
Sarabelle's going to go up to John while they're in their room and just put her hand on John's shoulder. John, I have a gift. I'm going to give you a choice. One that I have not given you for the entire time we've known each other. If you would like, while I wish that I could say that you could go on your own, I'm not sure that our patron would allow that. But if you and I come to the agreement that you wish to end our time together, I am sure that she would send another in your stead. And Cerebel will reach into her pack and pull out a Arcano bomb that has been souped with all of her magic.
Oh. All right.
This will show her at least that we agree on this. Now, if you choose to use this, don't use it in Miss Bell's establishment. Is all that I ask. John will take the bomb from Sarah Bell and put it in one of his various pouches and just grin. You think that you can get rid of me that easily? For I can finally drink and smoke and cuss and tell you what it is. You think you can get rid of me that easily, Sarabelle? Mm-mm. I'm here till this adventure's done. You're stuck with me. Sarabelle, smile. Yes. That's your decision. And it's your decision. And they'll just go back to what they were doing, packing for the coming adventures in the road, preparing to face what will come. But Sarah Bell will also talk to Miss Bell and Alistair prior to leaving. She'll go to Miss Bell first. Miss Bell, Doc. Are you in?
Yes, my dear. Enter. I'm so glad to see you. We've been so busy these last few weeks.
Indeed. I wanted, before I leave, to provide you with a gift of sorts. It was given to me in the past, and I don't believe I have any need for it, but I think that you may. At least some of your girls may. It may be of use to them. She'll take her necklace that she's had on the entire time that you've known her, and give it to you. It's a parapap of health. Makes the wearer immune to all diseases, and it suppresses the effects of any disease that you currently have.
My dear, this is a generous gift. Are you sure? Are you sure you don't need it or want it?
She'll close your hand over it. I know that it is going to a generous woman. And that's all that I can ask.
Well, certain. I suppose Vera could probably use it the most. You know the kind of customer she tends to attract. She's gonna hug you so tightly, just reaching up, even though she's tall, you're taller. and just hug you. Are you certain, my dear? I can't persuade you to stay.
Not until I know that the threat is over. And that my contract, my agreement, not contract, has been fulfilled.
He'll release you and step back and kind of hold you by your shoulders and, be like, well, certainly understand that type of mission. We are here, and I do hope you will stay connected and return whenever you can.
Of course.
Save your room. You know how things are, but you will always have a room.
Be it in the shed or in the main dining room. Anywhere with
I'll be
suffice.
sleeping in the shed, my love. You will be sleeping in a room. You kind of your arm. Now, off with you. I've got to get ready for this party.
Of course. She'll exit. John will look at you. Puff a smoke. Nod his head and then leave.
As he goes, John.
Peeks his head back around the corner.
Yeah, I know that you have had quite, you have many reasons for bitterness and cynicism, sir. And certainly not all the reasons to not be so protective of our Sarabelle. But I encourage you to please have her back as you go.
He just, he flicks his wrist and a blade comes out. Nobody's doing Sarabelle in. Not while I'm around. And flicks his hand again, still with the eyeball on it. Blade disappears.
She'll call out to Vera to come so she can give her the necklace.
Takes it gladly. He's like, oh, well.
Did somebody else want to have a conversation before?
I will say, since it just to that's what I'm looking for, just to address it since it was mentioned in the Skype chat. Like I said, we're not gonna, like you inferred, we're not gonna play out the interrogation with Caldwell. I will say it does basically, without getting into the details, as won't be acted upon. You'll be able to get the information you want from him. Buchanan comes and brings effectively a device he has created that replicates the effects of Zone of Truth that he plunks down in wherever y'all are talking to him, and good gracious, Thornton observes.
Yeah, the original intent was just for him to go in and be like, using guile, get him to slip up, and then once he slips up, be like, all right, excellent, let's have a conversation.
No, when I mean Zone of Truth, I mean he is imagically compelled to be unable to lie.
Oh, I know.
But
that was the intent. So that if he's coming in and being like, oh, we've got this tonight, that just makes it so much easier.
But basically, the three of you walk into his shop, and Thornton stops, shuts his door, and pulls the blinds. Like, makes no presuppositions that this is anything but what it is. But you'd get whatever information that you are trying to get from him about his relations with Slater. Sadie is very clearly paying close attention to what you say. Once you wrap up, you get what you want. Just puts one through his forehead.
So that was going to be the big thing. I apologize if there's been any mistake. Sure, we'll be able to make this right. Was he correct? Was Caldwell indeed the mole?
It what? Yeah, Caldwell was, yes, he was the mole.
Hell yeah.
Hence why I said Thornton kills him at the end of this interaction.
Well, didn't know that 100% walking in, so it would have been like a, Just with the other two behind him, just if there's been any mistake, a mix-up, or misunderstanding, apologize in advance, and I'm quite certain you'll be able to make it right. I believe we've got some questions for you.
Wait, was that a general store guy?
Yeah.
Man,
The dude who's allergic to you. I mean, full transparency. He wasn't like a malicious dude. He was literally an informant.
He was an
Like,
information broker.
He sold information.
that was Clyde's literally favorite person in town before meeting all you guys.
That's rough.
Oh, literally everything, including information.
I imagine me and Clyde are standing outside of the Sunrise. We see John and Buchanan like marching that guy down the street. Still think he's a good fellow?
It wasn't. They went to his shop.
Shit.
They just walked in. I said they have one of Sinclair's right hand people backing it up. So they just went. They walked in, told everybody to leave, and then shut and locked the door.
Probably just sitting there eating lunch and just muffled gunshot. A little bit later, guy comes in. You know,
What was that?
little bit sweaty hairs. Knuckles a little bit. No, it's against my usual. Sorry. No, it's against my usual nature. But I'll have a drink, please.
In response to Alistair, Clyde will just say, well, if you're a bad woodmaker, people don't buy your wares. If you're a bad informant, wind up dead, I reckon.
Excellent informant.
He just clinks his glass against yours.
True.
Criminal. He doesn't know he's an informant.
The information broker.
At some point in between the end and before Alistair leaves, Callie will have sat down and given him the story like she promised him way back. Her only request is to keep her name off of it, but basically you get all of the nitty-gritty details of basically how certain portions of the consortium interact with each other and sort of those things. And then probably 2 or 3 days before Sarabelle and Alistair leave, Callie is going to go up to Sinclair. She's been doing normal business and knocks on the door and goes, Miss Sinclair, do you have a moment? Well,
I could perhaps make one. What is it?
this will be quick, I promise. And she's going to pull her bounty poster out of her pocket, an old one, and go, Miss Sinclair, if I'm going to be here for a long while, I think you deserve a little bit of transparency. So here's who I am.
I believe y'all had this conversation already.
I know, but I didn't give him the last name. I just said that, like, yes, I'm related. Like, I gave him because Granger was like, she's worth a whole lot of money to the consortium. But this is fully a, like, her photo and all that stuff with her name and who her father is.
Mm-hmm.
And so I slide it to him and go, this is why I don't want the consortium here either. So, I don't know what you want to do with this, but I think I've proved myself to you.
Kind of looks down at it. You can see his eyes kind of going as he's reading. Oh, goodness. Is it not good to be among like-minded individuals?
I misheard.
He said, isn't it good to be among like-minded individuals?
Oh, yes. I tip my head and go, I sure hope so, Mrs. Sinclair.
As do I.
I don't think they'll be bothering us, and if they do, I think we can handle it.
Just kind of nods. Let's hope it is so.
And if my presence here brings any trouble, I will do my best to, as they say, skedaddle, so that I don't bring it to Crystal Grid.
I do believe there are some that say that, yes. I do not count myself among them.
I did not think you did, Mr. Sinclair. But it's fun sometimes. In any case, that's all I wanted. You know where to find me if you need my services.
Of course. And goes without saying, as long as you remain within my employ, you have nothing to fear of bounty hunters. While within what's the word I'm looking for? While within the city limits. while within Crystal Grid.
I appreciate that, sir. I'm gonna go head back and get ready for this party. I do believe you got your invitation, right?
He just raises an eyebrow. Good evening, Miss Cat.
Good evening. And I leave. Just
At some point before Alistair leaves, probably in the first couple weeks after that finale, guys probably would have approached him. Just one of their regular meals. I'm assuming at least some of us eat together every now and then.
I don't know. You tell me.
So you
Belle loves
Alistair,
those family meals, so.
do you have a moment?
Of course, he just sort of closes what he's working on at the moment. Back in towards the seat.
They pulls out the chair, sits down with his glass of milk, and you locate and publish stories.
I'm not a journalist, sir. I'm a storyteller.
And if you had a story provided to you, you could distribute it if it was interesting to you, of course.
I suppose I could, but all of my works are as fiction.
Sometimes fiction has stirring similarity to real life.
I wouldn't know much about that. But I do have colleagues back home that may be able to help you out.
It's not something I need help with exactly. I think it's something you might enjoy.
I'm all ears.
Taken an interest in the gritty details and stories with dark edges, right? Or am I missing some aspect of your focus?
He just sort of beckons for you to continue.
A series of tales, shall we say. They're not exactly artistically written, as I myself am not a fiction writer. I don't know how to capture an audience in the way that you do. Maybe material we could do something with. Just kind of slides a series of like almost like old-timey manila folders that kind of are usually kept in like those leather accordion bags. So he's probably got one of those, opens it up and takes out a sheaf of these folders and sets them down, pushes them across the table, each one individually labeled with several handwritten pages. And there's what's it called?
He opens it up right there. What's he looking at?
The first one appears to be a documentation or a story written by someone who does not know how to write anything but objectively, so whatever fictional details are pretty ham-fisted. But it tells the account of a street urchin taken
in by a wealthy and influential man who is incredibly cruel, who then uses the boy as a tool to climb. The next one being a continuation of that. The third one being an account, and the rest of them seeming to be accounts of criminal activities or like internal corporate espionage. The organization never named, but it's pretty clear that it is the consortium.
What's concern?
It's full of gruesome details, but I am unsure specifically what it is that draws Alistair's interest to things. So whether or not he would be keen on it or not.
Yeah, I think you know what? We'll you want to roll an insight check?
Sure. I'll roll an insight check. Oh! I didn't think we were going to be rolling dice, so I didn't open up my character sheet. I'm sorry. Why would you ever assume that no dice will be rolled? Fool. Shiny rock. Go click clack. Be a 24.
24. Okay. Alistair, you probably won't get very low, but on a 24, you'll just see past the friendly demeanor he's trying to keep up. It's not necessary, and it's not the stories that are disinteresting to him. But he flicks through them, and it doesn't. He says, but at the end of it, it does seem like mostly just disinterested, and it seems like it's because he doesn't like have a personal connection to the story. But what he'll say is, he's quite intriguing, Professor Dumont.
John. For now.
John.
Unfortunately. He kind of, if Sarah Bell's anywhere nearby, cuts a glance.
I feel like we both cut eyes to John at that moment. It says,
They're both spoken in the corner.
I'll take these for now, if this is what you want. A story made. I could use them for notes. And if I find myself not able to find the time, I swim in these circles. There's plenty of sharks that would take a bite of it.
There is hopefully more to the saga, and I would like to, whether it's you or a colleague, provide the final arcs. Complete.
Alistair will go into his vest pocket. He will bring out a sort of off-white business card with black lettering. He'll slide it across the table to you. There'll be a name as well as an address in Verdland, and it will be a name of a publisher in Verdland. Send it down. I find myself traveling quite a bit.
Thank you. And I understand you'll be leaving some junction.
I think the send-off for Mrs. Bell's party, and sounds like a good way to wrap up the story.
This story. I'm sure you'll find others. I'm sure you'll make others.
We shall see.
Good time, and hopefully I'll see you around again. Good evening. Just chair away, and that'll be it.
Sarah Bell, sometime later, will come up to you and Agatha and do the like the little cool guy spin around chair thing. Sit down on it
Miss Arabelle?
So I've been thinking. You're heading a certain way. I have no fucking clue where I'm heading. Well, I don't want any of you to get hurt because of me. I find good company hard to keep. And I think I can learn some things from you.
This is Saravel talking to us, right?
Yes. Yeah, sorry.
Where is John?
In the corner smoking.
Pull up my spell list real quick.
Baba Booey and just kills John.
No, Miss Bell doesn't.
2 HP.
Miss Bell doesn't want guns in her establishment.
She never said anything about spells.
What it'll get down to is Alice will ask is Sarah Bell, I have no problems with you accompanying us in our journeys ahead. I do have a question for you though.
Of course. As I told you, you always get the truth from me.
With your quick decision of hopping from one being of power to the next, do you think that is the right decision?
Probably not. All it's done is turn indebtitude to one being to another one. But at the time, it was what I had.
He will take
to
his
ensure
arm out from around Agatha and just lean across the table towards you.
To ensure that none of you became harmed because of my decision making. At times, I don't make the best of decisions, but I work with the hand that's dealt.
What if I told you Sarah Bell brings out a stack of cards that he's had? On top is the Jack of Spades that Miss Bell gave him. He takes it, does just a bit of sleight of hand. Cards appear like out of order and disheveled. He flips them and flips them again, and they're all in order. You can deal yourself your own hand.
How does one do that?
We got a lot to talk about, I think.
See, we do.
I'll be leaving after the party Miss Bell holds. That night, most likely.
As I said, good company is hard to find. And I'm not too keen on getting rid of it so quickly.
I'm happy to oblige. Sarah Bell.
I do have one additional. You know John has to come with me.
You know, maybe what I can teach you will solve that problem. If it's one you're looking to solve.
Maybe one that we're both trying to solve.
It's settled in. Leave out on the night of the party.
Deal's a deal. She reaches out with her hand and
You'll grab
the
your
night of the
hand,
party.
lean over, and kiss your knuckles.
Bows to Agatha. As always, Agatha. A pleasure.
I don't know how one does a chair curtsy, but Agatha does that.
That's all I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
No one else has anything else for Alistair. I'll go and I will go.
I know at some point, probably sometime in the first week, Callie and guys probably would have had their dinner.
Mac and cheese.
Ramen.
Alex,
Show up and he's like,
when you upgrade from ramen to mac and cheese, that's when you know it's true love.
I ate it all the time in college. What? It's not good.
That's when you know you've become an adult.
nah, he'd be over there cooking whatever this world's equivalent of French cuisine is. So I learned this in a kitchen in the capital city of Newfoundland.
We'll have snails.
I did have to pull a couple of strings with Sinclair to get the spices, but 2,000 gold is a lot of money. So it's over there.
Fair enough, John.
You like spicy things?
I like a lot of things.
Excellent. Just takes the bottle that he was holding, upends it over the pot. He will, unless Christ, he will, unless otherwise provoked, probably be very overtly extroverted, discussing all the details of the food and the history of the dish and this, that, and the other, and kind of distracting himself from the incredibly uncomfortable nature of the situation from his perspective, at least.
Callie's gonna let you just talk because she finds this truly hilarious and just nods politely and starts acting like she was at one of her father's parties. Just when you have to listen to someone talk at a party and you're like, okay, I'm stuck here for a long while. But she has schooled her face and is nodding along and appropriately comments based off of various things.
It'd be pretty clear that he is uncomfortable with the silence, but he does not know what to say, so he is just kind of info dumping. Anyway, it's not ready. Over here. He'll plate the food, do an artistic drizzle, set the plates, pour a couple glasses of wine, cleared out just the one small table, and pull out the chair very gentlemanlike.
Yes, she curtsies, even though she again is not even unless John has asked her to dress up, she is wearing her orange plaid and jeans, and so unless
John gave her absolutely no indication, but he is wearing tailored slacks and a white button down, the sleeves rolled, and a couple bits of very simplistic gold jewelry.
When I sit down, I go, John, you could have asked me to wear a dress. I do own a couple.
It's fine. No, it's all right. I felt that might be relevant. Posing. It's not like this is an establishment with a dress code, so.
Right.
Sit down. 2-hour post-marital first date. Sorry, I can't see the glass. Holds up a wine glass.
Yeah.
Cheers.
So does that mean you're going to be staying, John?
For a while, yes. I have agreements with Sinclair on the overarching task at hand. He is apparently even more well connected than I thought, and certain how much longer this road has left.
You're in the kitchen, right?
I thought we'd cleared out the
We're probably in
the
the
lobby of the.
if
the main-
anything, because the saloon is actually working, so I would assume that we had like the conference room.
Yeah, that's true. Something like that.
You'd be able to have a private space.
Yeah.
You do find a letter at the door when you leave, John.
When I leave where?
The private space.
Oh, okay. Noted. I will check it here momentarily. Read it when I leave.
So she goes, so we lived, you're staying. Now where does that leave us?
At the very least, a few more of these. Get to know each other outside of the riveting pursuit of victims of our mutual employer and destruction of ancient eldritch entities. Takes up a great deal of attention. Figure
Right.
for married, we should probably get to know each other.
I suppose so. This is the Wild West. Folks die pretty quick. I've seen people get married faster than we've known each other.
Which is usually why I'm against the institution as a whole. Ties you down, connections make you weak. This, that, and the other. They make you vulnerable. There is a point to that, you know. You do need to be careful. I mean, I understand it's a little bit hyperbolic, but anyway. Then,
I mean, I'm going to call you Professor forever and ever. John.
I'll remember your name eventually. Don't worry.
yeah. He kind of like looks at the door and he's
These
like,
are married.
I am afraid I have no last name to give you.
That's fine.
Though, from what I gather, you don't like yours, so perhaps in marital tradition, just get rid of it. We'll both be without
Fair.
one. I was joking, but sure.
We don't need anything, John. Just, I don't think I'll be able to find another person who understands the particular cruelties of the consortium. We can be bonded in trauma and in adventure.
Raises his wine glass again. The true markers of a burgeoning romance.
Who said it needed to be romance, my dear?
Oh, I mean, it doesn't need to be. It was wordplay.
My dear. My dear, my love. I don't know what I'm going to be doing with you.
Apparently working with me to kill giant rock creatures and burying me impromptu.
Right.
And letting me cook you delicious dinners. Yeah, try this. It is actually, from the forest, it is presented as an appetizer. I did add some personal touches.
Mm-hmm. Honey.
I gotta close the chat.
We're are horrible. We have terrible table etiquette, and I apologize. Just I'm not gonna say ahead of time, just for all across all time. Carry on. Everybody shut up.
So good.
If we need time,
Still pumped
then we
up.
can have time. My dear.
Those will have plenty of time to figure it out. I'll be around for a bit longer.
I suppose.
Excellent. I am interested to see.
For record, Belle put y'all in the same room and has not allowed you to separate because there's not enough room.
John probably would have, like, in an attempt to be appropriate, which the first time in his life he has tried to do this, is like the first time Callie goes back to the room after they were put in the same room, she would open the door and there's like a pallet built on the ground, like a few layered blankets, pillow.
She would have every time she would have been promptly like taken it apart. So
I was not gonna like rebuild it, but it would have been like, oh, I don't know if I'm ever setting boundaries. It's going to lay these down. She's working. Yeah, all right, perfect.
I think the very last thing is Professor John. God fucking damn it! Every
You
single
shouldn't
time.
have called me professor for weeks. You know,
You didn't tell me your name for weeks.
I did offer you other monikers, and if you hadn't used the same one for so long, it might not have stuck in your head quite so solidly.
I liked it too much. It made me laugh.
Keep it up. I'm going to have to go get a degree.
You know, we will have enough money from Mr. Sinclair that I think you could if you wanted to.
Even study. I don't think they have a degree for
Assassination?
perforating people.
I mean, maybe.
There are no
No, they
colleges
don't,
here
by
in
the way.
Cryptodon.
They don't.
Uh,
I don't think he was referring to you, Cryptodol.
Oh, okay.
no, after she corrects herself and goes, John,
Yes.
because you're so keen on being proper, which is gonna drive me up a goddamn wall, I'm going to tell you words here now that if you would like
Yes.
to kiss me whenever you'd like, you are allowed to do that. If you like me that way.
And after hesitation, you've seen this man like smoothly, suavely kiss both men and women in this establishment prior to y'all's first adventure. Those first couple days they were there, and he was flirting up the doves and probably everyone else in town.
Which is why she's so fucking confused.
Yeah, no, he's very kind of awkwardly like hand on her neck and just kisses her on the cheek.
I suppose.
And he's straight up blushing when he steps back, just kind of a...
I suppose, John. I suppose that this is...
What do you suppose?
My love.
Do something wrong?
My love.
Usually very good at this. What have I done wrong?
I don't. Clearly. There's something wrong. We'll have time.
And he will go in for like a kiss on the lips, but like it's a desperation move.
I'll kiss him back, only to make him feel better. And like, after a minute, go, Sean, we have time.
I made the mistake of opening chat again. Fuck.
I think I know what it is. I think everybody is just so struggling with the secondhand embarrassment so much that we have to do something about it.
It's got to be vented somewhere.
We're all just like, ah!
We can't coach John directly. We're just like, this is what.
I
Yeah,
can't
don't-
do it, man.
We're just
Yeah.
cringing
The man
so
who
hard
is like-
IRL.
Yeah, the man who has been the town-wide panty dropper for weeks is just like, thank you.
Honey, my dear, I know that I've put you on the spot, and that is fine. We will have the time.
That's not it. No. I'm very good at improvisation.
I don't think, no, you aren't. And that I
It's
think
just not with you. It's just not with you, okay? It's just not with you.
I don't know why.
Because I give a shit. Because I.
You
Yeah.
care about me, my dear John.
Yes. Okay, look. It's not. It's not a ploy, and that is what makes it difficult, okay?
Doesn't have to be.
Doesn't have to be a ploy, or doesn't have to be difficult. I just said it's not a ploy.
Both and.
What makes it much more out of my wheelhouse? Seduction is easy,
Right.
but being seduced is not as much.
Okay. And I think that this entire, just to save y'all from this embarrassment, this
Yeah, you're just- that's how the dinner goes for the rest of
the two of us, and Callie's just getting her eyes out of John by making him fully off his steps. So
This entire thing is poking at insecurities I didn't know were still there. Like,
All the rest of us are right outside going, "Eee."
Just like stacked up at the door, taking turns peering through the keyhole. Everyone else like with their ear to the door, like
it's not getting better.
At one point,
It's not
Clyde
getting
pulls
better.
a gun out, and we're like, no, we can't do that.
it's a mercy killing, I promise.
I'm sure that the doves are like talking very loudly about like various exploits and things, trying to give John tips and
Trying
hints.
to boost it.
Lynn and Jack are like, they're doing rock, paper, scissors on who should go in and be like, and coach him. Like, what?
Poor fella.
They've probably all been flirted with very effectively, by him before, and they're just like, this is
Right, they want him to be
not the
successful.
man
They're like,
whose tongue was in my mouth 3 days, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Anyway.
So that letter says two things.
At the end of the evening, he's served his lemon meringue pie or whatever, and all of the food is very artistic.
He bakes.
Does everything.
Yuck.
Yeah.
SMH.
Steps out, probably has no idea. He has like a lipstick mark on his cheek or whatever, and just still looking a little puzzled, but not in a bad way, and opens the door. What are you all doing out here? Anyway. Letter.
Throws it in the garbage. Somebody must have dropped this. I'll put it in the bin.
It does say John on the front. It just
Oh, it's
says
for that bastard. Fuck that guy. Oh, wait.
keep it up, stud. P.S. You got a stupid fucking name.
Goddamn. That is fucking rude.
Got him.
Prank.
Marked John.
This is from John. John left this for John.
After receiving the letter, just kind of fold it. It's probably pretty late, like close to midnight. Is Sarah Bell still up?
Cerebel's in pajamas. He's in the main room smoking, drinking. He just smiles at you.
Not John, Sarah Bell.
Oh, Cerebel is asleep.
The next day, at some juncture, probably Cerebell will be approached. Cerebell, do you have a moment? I've got a question for you. It's like all back to his regular like work attire. John still does the your John. He seemed to get killed a lot, and you can just bring him back easy. It's like a thing you do. It's crazy.
Yes, but
Nat 20 on a deception check to seem like he's not asking with intent.
Okay, asking with intent.
Yeah, this was deception to seem just like idle curiosity. Like, that was crazy.
Bro, I don't know if you can roll high enough on a deception check for that to sound not like crap.
Especially,
well, like I said, it's like he's very good at what he does. Right? It was a 29.
Just whatever, you know.
Especially since John told Cerebell what y'all were doing last night, how wonderful it was going.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, it was just kind of like, I noticed after the fight, I thought he was gone. I thought he was dead, and then he was back. You just bring him back, or how's that work?
She's gonna put her hand on his shoulder. One time. Also, talk to anybody about how to talk to Callie. Anybody.
I know how to talk to girls.
No, you don't know how to talk to that girl.
Apparently not.
And again, one time, you can kill John.
Oh, thank God. And he will immediately heel point, turn, and walk off. Probably like 10 minutes later, he'll just hear. Show back up.
Murder.
She'll have warned John ahead of time what was coming.
Oh no, he was going from there. Oh, you telepathically, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Run, John, run.
No, it was just your letters upset him, and he's coming to kill you. See you in 8 hours, I guess.
Yeah, see you in 8 hours.
He's just getting out of his clothes to leave them there. Fucking worth it.
Yeah, just like the moment he steps out of the very next time he steps out of the bordello, just kind of like da. Walks inside, turns the gun in immediately to whoever's watching the front, and then up to enough. Hands you a revolver that has one round missing after you heard a shot get fired like 30 feet away.
I just kiss you on the cheek and have you go on your way.
Ozzy goes off to spend the rest of his day after that. That's all I got.
Anybody else? Going once.
No one got anything else for Alistair?
Not until he leaves.
Oh, when I'm leaving. I'm gone forever.
He will be narrating.
Oh,
I'm
well,
gone,
when
gone.
You want
Alistair
to talk to him on his way out. Speak now.
is Sarah going with Alistair? Yeah. Clyde would just kind of head outside and wait for him to leave, and then just beam whoever the person's driving the carriage in the head with a rock. Safe travels. That's a sending stone. Use it.
I believe there are more effective delivery methods.
Name one.
Giving it to somebody by hand
I did.
over a shorter distance.
That's not nearly as funny from my position.
That's true. I didn't get hit with it. It was kind of funny.
You'll remember that one for days. It got a pretty good lick right there in that soft spot. You know, you hit someone hard enough, it'll kill them. And pretty much anywhere in the head. Anyway, Safe travels.
You as well. And remember this tune, Mr. King, and I'll play on the harmonica, and I want you to make a wisdom saving throw.
You motherfucker.
God damn it! Got his ass.
And you're
Okay.
gonna take 7 away from it.
My God. Okay.
And your DC is 18.
If you're within 10 feet of me, you get +4 to your saving throw.
You're inside.
The inside of the
Door.
This
Nice.
is like a huge, like, they
Yeah, everybody's on the
performers,
patio.
Music. Party.
1 second. I
Yeah,
forgot.
if we're all saying goodbye, then I'm definitely close.
I had my wrong character sheet open. Whoops.
Yeah, roll Artyom's wisdom save real quick.
Yeah, that would be
Oh,
real.
fuck.
What am I
fucking-
doing here? Who the fuck are all of you? Ah!
7 from this? It's literally impossible. I'd have to roll a natural 20, then still wouldn't get it.
Jesus.
Well,
Not a very wise cat, is he?
then Clyde is gonna sit there doing a silly little dance for a solid minute as I cast Otto's irresistible dance on him.
Wait, what do you mean? I got a +3 wisdom. I just don't have anything else to it. He made me take -7. What do you want me to do?
Get good, scrub.
Clyde will do a dance.
Before
Is this really the occasion?
before that happens, and before Alistair leaves, he will. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna flip that order since we're already here. Sarabelle is leaving out with him, and later at the party, Alistair will be gone a day or two beforehand. He won't. Maybe Sarabelle thought he had already left out, or maybe a couple of you thought he's just pulled an Irish goodbye. But he does come back probably during the party, fashionably late. He shows up, has a good time, drinks, does drugs as he normally does, so his personality doesn't change. But he does hop into the carriage when it's time to go. Pats the seat for Sarabelle, and depending on how late he was to the party, I don't know if Sarabelle has been drinking or not, but Agatha would not have been with him. And let's see, you ready to go, my dear? All your bags packed up?
Of course. Is Miss Agatha not joining us on this adventure?
She is. She's meeting us up the road.
Ah, excellent.
So, hit the horse, get hit in the back of the head with a rock and a sending stone. Make Clyde do a little ditty as we're riding away. Say, you know, shown a great effort to at least attempting to change yourself and put your fate in your own hands. That's just incredible, Miss Sarabelle. I'm excited for what this journey holds for us.
As am I.
As our camera pans away from the two of us and into the back of the caravan into Alistair's pack, where he received an envelope back from his publisher, the first draft of a book. And on the front of that book, the title, Agatha. And he'll ride down the road.
Plot twist indeed.
A couple of days after Alistair is gone, Miss Bell, I don't know where you would find yourself doing your business in the Sunrise. Not anywhere private, not like your office. Nowhere that would need to be broken into or anything like that. But somewhere where someone would observe you going off to, like a junk drawer or something like that. You would find a piece of paper, tri-folded with a wax seal across it, raven and stars in the background. And if you want to look under the box that your microphone is set on.
We're sneaky. Y'all are incredibly sneaky. Oh my gosh.
You'll find as you open it up, there will be there'll be a short, loose form poem on it. And while you read it, I will actually read it out loud to you as well.
Find it. Open it without
You got to tear the seal.
hearing it.
That's the way it
No,
goes.
I didn't want to. I know that's the point, but okay. All right, I'm ready.
Ever wonder through his gray eyes to search the colliginous quagmire of grief, for there which can belong only to a mother? Does it exist amidst the boughs of the occasional pine, brittle, broken branches holding even its closest of neighbors at arm's length? Or perhaps it is within the low tones of the morning dove, her soulful song filling the stubborn space between the laggard arms of a grandfather clock, whereby messages of the lost are never quite audacious enough to be heard by ears so eager. Or from the weather-bitten smokestack of a midnight locomotive, wailing steam and indictment of its singular, seemingly simple purpose of moving forward. Destination, the purgatory of its own rails. Bewildered is he, the same as the man studying the night sky, his lens a meager crystal coin, attempting to capture the infinite cosmos. He reflects upon the melancholy monochromatic portrait, unable to perceive the paints that color the apricity somewhere a child has once laughed. An unhearable heartstring sonata played on the drying line, whereupon rests a faint of clothes too small. A confounded state in which he can only offer sympathy. A well-meaning gift box, no present within. There'll be no signature on it, but at the bottom there will be a J, and right beside it a spade, as you would find on the Jack of Spades, the card that you gave Alistair.
Just gonna read it like on the spot. As she reads, she just kind of sinks into a chair. You can see like a tear go down her face, and then she'll fold it and stand up, take it to her office. She has a personal safe that she'll open, and she'll put it in that box. There are very few things in there. Picture of her son, a couple of other things, and she'll put it in that box and then close the safe.
That's it for me.
Okay. So, well, my friends, let's hear as we pan out even from in the room within the sunrise, far out, overlooking the entire continent of Eucryptidal. And a lot's going to happen in a relatively short amount of time for this continent. In the context of how long this continent has been around, there's still the ancient fortresses of a civilization that inhabited this place long before any of you all arrived. The people and the cities and towns that are scattered across it currently are the product of well over 100 years of fighting to put down roots. Once again, y'all have had these minor in the grand scale conflicts. You've all but wiped out one of the gangs that roams the lands here within Eucryptidal. They're definitely getting wiped out soon, as they're being actively pursued by the Consortium for a crime that they for once did not commit. Powers long that have long slumbered are beginning to awaken as more research is done onto these ancient fortresses, more secrets similar to this gem, this companion, this thing that will allow you to wander deeper within the inhospitable wasteland that is Eucryptia. And despite best efforts of some, at least, war is coming. Over months. Alistair and Sarabelle have gone off to travel. The rest of you have either has set down new routes or are revisiting your old home, your old pot, if we're gonna stick with the plant analogy. John will continue to do work. He'll be performing hits, mostly, I say mostly, pretty exclusively in the employ of Desmond Sinclair, but attempting to keep things calm for as long as he can, as Sinclair is continuing to expand his influence and power within Eucryptia, but is trying to keep the consortium, if not unaware, at least pointed in the wrong direction for as long as he can. More marshals disappeared. But there's at least one person within the consortium who has a vested interest in things in Crystal Grit going awry. So a couple months down the line, here within the United States, we have the shot heard around the world that was a triggering event in our history. Now, our parallel here within Eucryptia is, significantly down the line to our own history. And it was a series of shots, a gunfight, even. As one of these late sunny afternoons with a blood red sky on the horizon, a couple of agents of the consortium find themselves discovered within the Sunrise Saloon. Geist away on a trip, a job. Callie away doing a bit of work at the mines. It is a brief and bloody exchange that only one of the two is able to escape from, fleeing into the desert, not soon to be pursued, but unfortunately not caught within the common room. Their compatriot lay slain, and unfortunately alongside them is the beloved proprietor of the Sunrise Saloon, Miss Bell. Gus, with her in her last moments, stays as she is buried, as men sent to pursue the escaped spy return, unfortunately, with them having escaped. There'll be no hiding from it anymore. Word will be out. It'll be the consortium versus whatever forces that those within Crystal Grit, the Talon Gang, can muster. Will be grim. But there are forces outside of Eucryptia that are not the consortium's friends. And this will be an opportunity for them. So we are approaching a time of chaos, and if it was possible, more strife within these Wild West. At Miss Bell's funeral held there within Crystal Grit. Billy, despite his grief, would do his due diligence, would have read off of Miss Bell's will that she'd, of course, written quite a long while ago, as it is a dangerous place here in New Cryptodol. Within it, details of that, the sunrise. Originally, you can see it's been scratched. It had originally been Billy, and then Billy and Pax, with the most recent names, with the wettest ink and the most recent ink, at least faded, are John and Callie. And a little further down, but unnecessary to be read, as at the end of his funeral, Gus lets off one final mournful howl to send off Miss Bell before turning and running into the desert. I don't know where he'll find him, but one of these nights sitting around your campfire, taking notes in your notebook, Alistair, a silent patting of large but graceful paws as Gus will make his way to you eventually, wherever he would find you. And comes and sits beside you and begins to stand vigil, like he did for Miss Bell. Well, everybody, I had a general idea of what I want to say here at the end, but I don't got it.
I got something. How dare you?
God damn.
I hope that one day we will revisit you, Cryptodol, but it will be a time of chaos and war in the Wild West. We'll get to it when we get to it. Some of our characters here may rejoin us. I don't know. Some of them may not. But, the Wild West is change, and a lot of times that's violent. So we'll leave our heroes, our desperados, our gunslingers. But thank you guys. Thank you all for joining me one last go around, and thank anybody who's joined us along the way. I hope y'all enjoyed yourselves.
Yeah, man, that was great.
We rootin' tootin', we're pointing and shooting, baby, and we'll do it again. Maybe with some changes to some of the rules that we use this go around. We'll see. Maybe
might be some wartime technologies that
maybe people have some armor class this go around. I don't know.
Kevlar, Western Kevlar.
I don't know about all that now. But as always, we are Hard Knock Dice. This here has been Whispers in the Dust. We will not be on further Wednesdays. I don't know if our next secondary campaign will still be on Wednesday. It might. I don't know. Keep an eye on our Twitter. We will tell you when we're getting ready to start it and what its schedule will be. But in the meantime, on Saturdays, we are still running our Across Eberron campaign, which is still being DM'd by our boy Johnsy or Alistair, the fucking Eberron god, slightly regular fantasy, a little arcana punky at times, depending on where you're at on the continent. And that is at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard on Saturdays. So keep joining us for that until we start up another thing during the week, and then join us for that thing once we say when that is happening. But In the meantime, we are still, of course, raising money for Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. So once again, heart wallets, open them, donate your actual physical heart. Thumbs up. If you do that, rip. If you don't, continue to stick around with us as we are going to raid Legends of Evantress as we pop out of here. They do TTRPG things and are hysterical, quite amusing. And yeah, so we want you to show your support to other creators, and we will see y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Good
y'all.
stuff, buddy.
Hell
Good
yeah.
stuff.
Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.